of business and the DNA of life. Now we're going to have a section of Q&A. Who's coming up to do the Q&A? Alan? Alan Stein. Alan Stein! Alan flew all the way in from Maryland. Thank you.
Okay. So, who has a takeaway from today's session? What have you guys learned in the last almost hour and a half?
Stay focused and never quit.
Good. And what did you learn that from?
I learned that from Emily, and how everybody's approach on the fishing was different, except Dad, who's the most successful. Focused and never quit. Focused and never quit.
Right. So what are you going to do to apply that in the next week or two?
I am going to focus on what's most important and not let distractions take me off of what that is and keep implementing that.
Good, good. And who's your buddy, by the way?
My buddy is Brad Woody, right here.
Okay. Hi, Brad. So you're going to connect with him how often to make sure that he stays focused?
Weekly, I'll keep him on track.
Excellent, excellent. Who else? What have you gotten from this session today? Anybody? I'll tell you what I got out of the session. So, right in the beginning when I mentioned that it was a struggle to come here, and there was a point where we very easily could have not come. So Mark asked me, he said, so how did you make that decision? What was it? And I mentioned that I had noticed, I'd recognized the opportunity. But, you know, had I thought about it a little bit deeper, I would have recognized one of the great principles of life, I think, and one of the natural laws, which has to do with your life vision and the importance of having a life vision. So who of you here, raise your hands if you have completed the life vision exercise. Wow, just 3 people. So how come you other guys haven't done this yet? This is incredibly important, right? Your life vision is like a giant magnet, and all the events in your life are like the little iron filings on the piece of paper. What happens when you bring that magnet close to those iron filings?
It attracts them.
Yeah, what happens? They all line up. Before that, they're lying every which way. So that's kind of like our lives, right? So you do a little bit of this, you do a little bit of that, you try this, try that, right? It's only when there's a powerful force that comes there that everything aligns. And that's when your life and all the things in your life start to point in a real serious direction. That's when you start to make progress. So, raise your hands if you're going to do the life vision today. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Any other questions that I might try to answer for you? Anyone?
What other questions can we ask people besides what's your biggest challenge?
Oh, that's a great question. So if you ask somebody what their biggest challenge is, you know, that's a great question, very important question. But the flip side of that, which you might try, is, so what are you really passionate about? You know, tell me about the things that you love. And interestingly enough, that can very easily lead into helping somebody to discover their life vision. Once you help them discover their life vision, you'll have a connection with their heart that I think that Luminita was talking about, right? Yeah, so that's a great question.
I think, just to piggyback on what you said, most people have been like beaten down and constrained to, you know, this is how my life is, and they've kind of forgotten how to dream and how to create possibilities in their life. So I like when you said helping them discover what it is they want, their life vision. When you can powerfully enroll someone in a possibility that they want, that they've never been able to see before, it creates a strong and almost lifelong connection with that person, because that person's going to connect with you on a level that they've never connected with before. And then to take that to the next step, if you can show them a way to help them accomplish that dream or get to that goal or fulfill their life vision, now you become the most important person in their life.
Right, which probably makes you a pretty good, profitable partner, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. Mark?
If I have found that if you're dealing with very influential people or affluent people or leaders, that if we ask them, you know, if somebody could help you in like any area of your life, what would you love help on? So that for leaders especially, they're used to helping people and giving to people, and they're not used to having the question of what's your biggest challenge. So it's almost like they're not used to that. But if you ask them that other question in just that way, that's a really powerful question to ask.
Could you repeat it, Mark? I'm sorry to hear.
If anyone could help you in any area of your life, what would you love help on?
Got it.
And so for most people, you ask the biggest challenge question because that reveals pain. And what they'd love help on is typically, so the biggest challenge typically has been there for a long time, decades. Like they can never fix it. The love help on is almost like a wish list. It's almost like the first thing that pops to their mind, which is more temporal. Both of those are very effective. I'd be really careful about asking additional questions because then it can cause someone to lose focus. And so you can lose focus individually, or you can cause somebody else to lose focus because now you're getting so much information. So the less questions you ask, the more impact that question has in being able to really sit with somebody and say, that's weird that they would ask that. And then when you actually follow through and follow up on something, it could be recommending a book, it could be giving them a tape, saying, hey, I'm thinking about it, it could be a white paper, it could be a video, it could be anything. When you actually take action and follow through on the biggest challenge, it will impact them in a significant way.
Great. Thank you. Thank you very much. Anyone else? Yes. Mark, you have something?
I just learned something.
Yeah.
Or I don't know if it's learned something, but experienced something. That being a part of this group is almost as cool as being a grandfather of two amazing grandsons. And so to see individuals learn the things and then be able to get up and present is just amazing. And so presenting in front of people, I would encourage everyone to do it. It will change your life. I mean, it'll give you impact and reach that you've never had. It will help you articulate things and communicate things and think in a totally different way. Emily, I've never seen anyone integrate like all these natural laws. It's like, oh my great, and she integrated it all into a story in the most amazing way, and that meant a lot to me. That was very, very special.
That was a great, one of the best fishing stories I ever heard. All right, did somebody else have a question?
Yeah, I have one other question.
Yeah.
How do you not overlook a profitable partner? Like, when you've done those first couple touches, how do you not continue to touch them? Or how do you not misjudge somebody when you're identifying your targets and you think, oh, they wouldn't be the right person that I'm looking for? How do you overcome that? How do you identify those profitable clients that may not be so clear right off the bat?
Right. Anybody here have the answer to that?
You know, when you ask those key questions and they don't give you the answer that you're expecting them to give you, so you might not think that they're the person you're looking for, but they still could be.
I just go to next. I don't pay.
You just go on to the next person.
Yeah.
Okay, and John?
I heard something. You said they don't give you the answer that you're expecting. Why are you expecting any sort of answer from anyone anyway? You should just receive the information they give you and then move forward from that. I would say
It
from
all
that.
goes with thinking differently.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks.
All right, very good. Thank you very much. Oh,
Thank you.
One other.
I would say just expand your life vision. Just make it bigger.
Great.
Thank you, Alan. Wonderful.